Hi everyone, it's Monica, and welcome back to TaylorMade Cards for You. Who would have ever thought that mail could be a form of art? It's also known as correspondence art, and my favorite type, of course, is the vintage inspired. Many of you have probably seen some of those old airmail envelopes. You can usually find them in antique shops. Well, that's going to be my inspiration today to create 2 vintage inspired postal cards. Now, there are lots of stamps out there specifically designed for these types of cards. But you can also find stamps out there that weren't created traditionally for greeting cards. In fact, Simply Stamps has a section just like this. And that's where I picked up these 2 stamps that I'll be using today for my cards. The 2 stamps that I'm using are called First Class and Priority. And I found these in the office stamps section over at Simply Stamps. The paper stack and sticker set that I'm using today is from 7 Gypsies, and it's called Postal. And unfortunately, it is a retired set, but there are lots of designer papers out there that would work great for mail art. Now, when I ordered these stamps, I intentionally ordered them to be mounted on wood block with the handle, just because I like the look. But you can easily unmount these stamps and use them on an acrylic block or on a MISTI, as I am doing. Now, with layered cards, I typically do have an idea of the design that I'm going for, but a lot of it I make up as I go along. I had this chipboard that kind of looked like an oversized stamp, so I decided to use it as my focal point. A lot of times when I am layering stamps, I do want my focal point to be a little bit higher than the rest of my items because I do like to embellish and stick other types of ephemera underneath it. Prior to adding it to my card, I did add some walnut stain distress ink to the edges to add to the vintage feel. I did add some foam tape to the backing so that way my focal point would be a little bit raised up. Now, typically I would add my layering before I add my focal point, but I actually did forget to do that. But it was easy enough to go ahead and just add it in after the fact. The paper that I'm using is from an old dictionary, and old dictionaries and newspapers are great to tear up to add for added embellishments. This piece of ruler that I'm adhering is from a paper stack from 7 Gypsies. And there's lots of paper stacks out there that have different types of ephemera that you can cut out of the paper stack. So if you find an item that's part of a paper stack, don't be afraid to cut it out. Again, you want to create the design the way that you want it, not the way that the layout is on the paper. So make it your own and cut that paper. Now, I'm using various ephemera, stickers, as well as embellishment to create this mail art. The ephemera pack that I'm using is from 7 Gypsies and it's called Mini Etiquette. I'm also using a stack from Art, A-R-T, and it's called Ephemera Collage Kit. Now, I did find the Art Ephemera Collage Kit in a discount bin, so you may not be able to find it. But again, there's lots of items out there that will work great for mail art, and I will make sure to link up any of the products that I can find for you. As an added embellishment, I did wrap some twine around the card. And after I trimmed off the excess twine, I was ready to add the base of my card to a piece of designer paper which measured 4 inches by 5 1/4. And once that was securely adhered, I was ready to add some final embellishments to finish off the card. So I hope that I've given you some ideas on how to create some mail art. And don't be afraid to think outside of the box when you're creating your cards. Like I said, I found these 2 stamps over at Simply Stamps on the office stamps section. And who knows, maybe you can find some great ones too. So as always, I will leave a list of all the products that I've used to create this card, along with the links to the stores. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you head out. And as always, you know that I love to read your comments. So feel free to leave a comment before you head out. And if you've enjoyed this video, I'd sure appreciate a thumbs up. Alright everyone, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you again next time.